Today we will discuss about magnetism. So magnetism means it is a phenomena of attracting magnetic substances like iron, nickel, cobalt, etc. And what is a magnet? A body possessing the property of magnetism is called a magnet. A magnetic pole is a point near the end of the magnet where the magnetism is concentrated. So, even though the body has the property of magnetism, there will be some point where this property is concentrated. That point is called magnetic pole. Then another point about the magnetism is that Earth is a natural magnet. Earth can be considered as a natural magnet. Then, so you consider a bar magnet with the two poles north and south. So there will be some point where this magnetism is concentrated, that is called pole. So here these are the 2 points, right? Here these are the 2 points where the magnetism is concentrated. So this is the pole corresponding to the north pole, or this is the point where the south pole is concentrated. Then what is a magnetic field? Magnetic field means it is the region around a bar magnet. So as shown here, so this is the region where the magnet exerts its force on other magnets or on objects which is made of iron. That is what is called a magnetic field. So in the previous video lessons also we have discussed about the concept of field. We have already learned about the electric field. So here what is present is a magnetic field. So it is the region around this bar magnet in which it will exert some kind of force on other magnets or on objects made of iron. So that is the definition of magnetic field. So this is how normally we are drawing the magnetic field around a bar magnet. Now what are the properties of a bar magnet? So there are 5 points. The first point is a freely suspended bar magnet aligns itself along north-south direction. So if we hang a bar magnet freely in air, it will align itself in the north-south direction of the earth. That is the first point. Then second point is unlike poles attract and like poles repel each other. What do you mean by unlike poles? So if a pair of north and south poles form unlike pole. So here there are 2 bar magnets and this pair, the pair which are coming closer to each other are north and south poles. So these north and south poles form unlike poles. So these unlike poles will attract. So if north and south poles come closer to each other, the 2 bar magnets will attract each other. That is the meaning of unlike poles. Then like poles means if there is a pair of south and south coming closer to each other, they form like poles. So if like poles come closer each other, or if they are very close to each other, they will repel each other. The 2 bar magnets will repel each other. So that is the meaning of like poles. Similarly, there could be a pair of north and north poles. Both are north. So this is a pair where you can see north poles of two bar magnets are close to each other. Now this is again like poles, so these like poles will repel each other, and as a result the two bar magnets will be repelled away. Then magnetic poles always exist in pairs, or poles cannot be separated, and that has a very important application. That means if you break a bar magnet, so if you cut a bar magnet, you will get two pieces here, and again these two pieces will be having both the north and south poles. That means this pole will not be north alone, this piece will not be south alone. Still there will be north and south poles in each of these magnets. So this is the north and this is the new south formed, and this is a new north formed, and this is the south. So this way bar magnets always exist in pairs. They always exist in pairs. You cannot separate north or south pole from a bar magnet. Then a magnet can induce magnetism in other magnetic substances. So this is a very common phenomena that all of us know. If you take a piece of nail or a piece of iron in close if we keep it in close contact with a bar magnet, after some time this nail or piece of iron will become a magnet. Then it attracts magnetic substances. A bar magnet always attract magnetic substances. So these are the important properties of a bar magnet. Then how will we represent a uniform magnetic field? So we have already come across some case of uniform magnetic field where the magnetic field was drawn like this. That means several parallel lines with equal distance will form a uniform magnetic field. So here you can see the distance of separation is always equal between different lines, and this is another way of representing a uniform magnetic field. Here again this cross mark represents a magnetic field which is perpendicular to the plane. At the same time it is directed into the plane of the paper or into the plane of the diagram. So this cross mark represents a direction which is into the paper, and this dot represents a direction which is out of the paper. So here also you can see all these each of these magnetic field lines are equally separated, or the distance between any pair will be the same. And in the third case again, so this is a case where the magnetic field lines are coming out of the paper, and they are coming perpendicular to the plane of the paper. Here again each of these lines are placed at equal distance from one another. Now bar magnet. So this is how a bar magnet look like. The important point is the line joining the poles of the magnet is called magnetic axis. So already I told a magnet consists of two poles, one is south, another one is north. And what is the pole? Pole means it is the point where the magnetism is concentrated. So this is the point where south pole is concentrated, and this is the point where north pole is concentrated. And the line joining these two poles, is called a magnetic axis, and the distance between the poles is called the magnetic length. So the physical length of magnet or the geographic length of magnet is different from the magnetic length. So these are the two poles representing north and south. Then between the two poles we can draw a line that represent the axis of the magnet, or it is called magnetic axis. The distance between the pole is the magnetic length of the magnet. That means what? This distance between two poles is the magnetic length. So this represent the magnetic, this length represent the magnetic length. Then magnetic length is different from the geometrical length or the physical length of the bar magnet. So this represent the physical or the geometric length of the bar magnet. And comparing these two length, you can see that geometrical length, this magnetic length and geometric length are different, or magnetic length is different from the geometrical length of the bar magnet. Then magnetic dipole and dipole moment. A pair of magnetic poles of equal and opposite strength separated by a small or a finite distance is called a magnetic dipole. So this is very much similar to electric dipole, and there it was two equal and opposite charges. Here it is two equal and opposite poles. So which are those poles? North and south poles. So north and south poles separated by a finite distance forms a magnetic dipole. So 2L represent the distance between the two poles. That is the distance between the two poles. Then the magnitude of the dipole moment is the product of the pole strength M and the separation 2L between the poles. So if M represent the pole strength of the bar magnet of north or south pole, then that pole strength into the distance between the two poles represent the magnetic dipole moment, or that represent the magnitude of the dipole moment. And the direction of the dipole moment is from south to north along the axis of the magnet. So magnetic dipole moment M is equal to small m into 2L, where small m represent the pole strength and 2L represent the length of the magnet. So normally we take the middle of the bar magnet as a reference point for many purpose. So length L from the center of the bar magnet to the north pole, and length L from the center of the bar magnet to the south pole. Therefore the total length will be 2L. Then the vector form of this magnetic dipole moment is M into 2L into unit vector L. Now Coulomb law in magnetism. The force of attraction or repulsion between two magnetic poles is directly proportional to the product of their pole strength and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So this law is very much similar to the Coulomb's law in electrostatics. So suppose we have two magnets with pole strengths M1 and M2 respectively. R is the distance of separation between the two magnets. Then from the statement of Coulomb's law we can write F is proportional to M1 into M2. Also M is proportional to 1 by R square, or or F is inversely proportional to R square. Now combining these two, we may write F proportional to M1 M2 by R square. Next we may convert this proportionality into equality by multiplying with the constant k. So k into M1 M2 by R square is equal to force, where the constant k is equal to mu 0 by 4 pi. Therefore F is equal to mu 0 by 4 pi into M1 M2 by R square. So this is the force between the two bar magnets having pole strength M1 and M2. But we know that the force is a vector. Therefore the vector form of this equation is vector F is equal to mu 0 by 4 pi into M1 M2 by R square, and is multiplied by a unit vector R, so that the RHS side is made a vector. So this is the vector form of the Coulomb force in magnetism. Magnetic intensity, the symbol is H, capital H. So magnetic intensity at a point is the force experienced by a north pole of unit pole strength placed at that point due to pole strength of the given magnet. And mathematically magnetic intensity H is equal to B by mu, where mu is the permeability and B is the magnetic flux density. So from this we may write B is equal to mu H. There is a relation between B and H, and this relation suggests that B is directly proportional to H, but shortly we will see that this B is not always directly proportional to H. Then another technical term is the magnetic permeability. This we have already defined in a previous video lesson. Magnetic permeability mu is the extent to which magnetic lines of force can pass or enter a substance. Magnetic permeability is the extent to which magnetic lines of force can enter a substance. Also we know that mu is equal to mu 0 into mu r. Mu is equal to mu 0 into mu r, where mu 0 is the permeability of free space, mu r is the relative permeability. Next, magnetization. Magnetization is the degree to which a substance is magnetized when it is placed in a magnetic field. It can also be defined as the magnetic dipole moment acquired per unit volume of the substance. Therefore the magnetization M, the symbol of magnetization is, or intensity of magnetization is, capital M. So capital M is equal to small m divided by V, where small m represent the dipole moment and V represent the volume of the substance. The next technical term that we are discussing is the magnetic susceptibility of a bar magnet. Magnetic susceptibility is represented by chi or chi. So this symbol represents the magnetic susceptibility. It is the property of the substance which shows how easily a substance can be magnetized. So magnetic susceptibility is an index which will show how easily a substance can be magnetized. magnetic susceptibility of a substance is the ratio of its magnetization to the magnetizing field. So technically chi is equal to m by h, where m is the magnetization and capital H represent the magnetizing field, and it has no unit. Then there is one more relation, that is mu r. Mu r is the relative permeability. Mu r is equal to 1 plus chi is the relation between susceptibility and relative permeability. So with this we may wind up here. Thank you for watching.